French.Eekhoud was a Belgian novelist of Flemish descent, but writing in French. Eekhoud was a regionalist best known for his ability to represent scenes from rural and urban daily life. He tended to portray the dark side of human desire and write about social outcasts and the working classes. Early life and works. Eekhoud was born in Antwerp. A member of a fairly well-off family, he lost his parents as a young boy. When he came into his own, he started working for a journal. First as a corrector, later he contributed a serial. In 1877, the generosity of his head mother permitted young Eekhoud to publish his first two books, Meurtres et Cypres and Zigzags Poétiques, both volumes of poetry. In the beginning of the 1880s, Eekhoud took part in several of the modern French-Belgian artist movements like Les XX and Leisure and Belgian. Kees Doik. His first novel was published in 1883, about the wild life of a tough young farmhand who committed a murder. The renowned free-thinking publisher Henri Eckers brought out a second edition 3 years later. Eekhoud received some guarded praise by famous authors like Edmond de Goncourt and Joris Karl Huysmans, who both sent Eekhoud a personal letter. For his second prose book, Kermesses, not only Goncourt and Huysmans praised him, but also Émile Zola, about whom Eekhoud had written an essay in 1879. In 1886 his novel Les Milices de Saint-François was published. By now Eekhoud's established subject was the rural Campine, a poor farmer's district east of Antwerp. He had a distinct style permeated with enthusiasm for the roguish young farm laborers and the rough-and-tumble lives. His most famous novel, La Nouvelle Carthage, was published in its definitive form in 1893, and many times reprinted. It has also been translated in English, German, Dutch, Russian, Romanian and Czech. The rustic Campine was in this book replaced with the brutal life of love and death in the Antwerp dockland metropolis and its dirty industry. Eskelviger. In 1899 Eekhoud offered to his readers a new and daring novel, Eskelviger. This is the name of the castle of its protagonist, Count Henry de Gailmark, but it conveys the name Eske, French for the river Scheldt, and vigor, Latin for power. Many of these readers were shocked, because the book is concerned with love between men. According to Eekhoud's biographer Mirand Lucien, Eskelviger was the book of a man who wanted to speak about himself in all freedom. Eskelviger is a homogeneous, linear text. The story goes without detours to its final scene of the martyrdom, the moment that the tortured bodies testify of the justness of the cause. As for its composition, Eskelviger is the least decadent of Eekhoud's works. Eekhoud makes much less use of the elaborate and old-fashioned words that make the reader stop and wonder. A clear and resolute novel about homosexuality, Eskelviger was heading towards trouble. Although it was well received by most critics, like Ray Child and Eugene Demolder, a lawsuit was launched against it. However, a storm of protest, especially vociferous because of numerous literary celebrities, and a cunning lawyer with literary aspirations, Edmond Picard, did the part in acquitting Eekhoud. Eekhoud's later years, later novels and stories, like L'Afterview and Les Libertins d'Anvers, also contain notions of homosexuality as sometimes only hints of admiration for masculinity, e.g. Dernières Kermesses. Eekhoud corresponded with actor Adelsward Fersen and contributed to his sumptuous literary monthly Academos. Also, he influenced young Jacob Israel de Haan, who authored several poems on themes of his older Belgian colleague, especially La Nouvelle Carthage and Les Libertines d'Anvers. Eekhoud for his part wrote the preface of de Haan's sadomasochist novel Pathologie een. The two authors kept in contact by letter. Eekhoud continued to be a well-respected author until he put on a firmly pacifistic stance in World War I that ravaged Belgium, after which his star declined. In the 20s his books started to be reprinted again. Although he died in 1927 at French.Eekhoud left a voluminous diary of some 5,000 pages, that has been bought by the Royal Library of Brussels in 1982. Various Belgian libraries contain extensive collections of correspondence. Modern interest nowadays, especially the homosexual aspect of his works, has enjoyed attention. Eskelviger has been reprinted in 1982, and Eekhoud's partly homoerotic correspondence with the journalist Sander Piran was published 10 years later. This book, a full-scale biography and a choice of his works, were edited by Mirand Lucien. Works: Mertes et Cypre, Zigzags poétiques, Quais d'Oic, Kermesses, Les Milices de Saint-François, Nouvelles Kermesses, La Nouvelle Carthage, Les Fusillés de Malines, Au Cycle de Shakespeare, Emmy's Communions, Philaster, La Duchesse de Malfi, Le Cycle Patibulaire, Eskelviger, La Faneuse de Mort, life.He, Les Libertins d'Anvers, Dernières Kermesses, Mon bien aimé acute petit Sander, Lettre de Georges Eekhoud Sander Piran, Suivis de 6 Lettres de Sander Piran et Georges Eekhoud.